Howdy folks, welcome back to Elite. We're not going to talk about the last episode, it's a very touchy subject. Suffice to say that I have found another mission that's going to award me modular terminals as a reward, 17 in total. Remember, I need 25. Hopefully this time I'll remember to actually pick the modular terminals as a reward upon completion of the mission. I tell you, that Marco Quent has a lot to answer for. Just in case you're late to the party, you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm unlocking engineers in Elite Dangerous for ship upgrades. And the one engineer in particular that I'm after right now goes by the name of Marco Quent. The thing is, Marco's a bit crap. The upgrades that he offers are nothing special. You can get better upgrades with other engineers, but in order to get to those other engineers you have to unlock Marco Quent. And he has led me on a merry chase. I've had to undergo a round-trip journey of at least 10,000 light years. I've had to unlock access to the Sirius system, where Marco Quent resides, because it's a locked system, you can't access it without a permit. And that meant grinding reputation with the Sirius Corporation. And now Marco wants 25 modular terminals, a commodity that you cannot buy on the commodity market, or at least you couldn't when this was all happening. I understand with the introduction of fleet carriers, some fleet carrier captains are trading in modular terminals, but at the time the only way to get them, in fact even now the only way to source them, is as a mission reward. So I'm trying to find missions that are offering modular terminals as a reward. I need 25 of them. This mission, disable the megaship turrets. I have no idea what is going on here. I've seen these missions pop up on the mission boards, but I don't know, it sounds a bit dangerous. Megaship? Disable their turrets? Those are like weapon systems, aren't they? Am I going to get shot at? Well, I did a bit of research before embarking on this mission, which is going to give me 17 of the 25 modular terminals that I need, assuming I remember to actually select them as the mission reward on completion. And there is an element of risk involved in this type of mission, but it's not that tricky, assuming everything goes well. You are going to need to have your data link scanner assigned to a fire group. Don't worry, your ship comes with a data link scanner by default, it's not an optional module. You have one, same as the discovery scanner. You may not have assigned it to a fire group, you may not know you have a data link scanner, but trust me, you do. I have actually come across megaships before. I had no idea what they were. They showed up as points of interest on the system scanner. And you can fly to them, and as long as you don't do anything overtly hostile around them, you're normally perfectly okay. They're things like extremely big cargo haulers, or prison ships, or deep space casinos. There are all kinds of these mega installations and mega ships. And we're going to go and disable the turrets on one of them. There it is, a Beckett class researcher. So some kind of science ship. They don't stay in the same place either. Well, the installations do, but the mega ships themselves don't. They're not always in the same systems. They move around. Almost there. There we go. Right. Structure detected. Use data link scanner to search for targets. Okay. So with the data link scanner selected, and I'm probably in the wrong fire mode. I'm in combat mode. I probably should be in analysis mode. Hang on, what's that ship? Yeah. Pain Pleasure Cruisers. I've seen those ships before. Beluga class liners belonging to Payne's Pleasure Cruisers. Get it? Okay, here we go. What exactly is it that I'm looking for? I think I actually have to scan the ship itself with the data link scanner, and that will... There we go, targets identified. Use the data link scanner to interrogate the target. So, there we go, target subsystems. What exactly is it I'm looking for? Fighter bay? Automated defense turret? Well, I am here to disable the megaship's turrets, so is that it? Turns out you have to get significantly closer when you're zeroing in on individual systems than just scanning the ship as a whole. I can't really make out what I'm looking at here. Where's my night vision? There we go. One automated defense turret. You have to get so close that it can't possibly miss you if you do anything to upset it. Here we go. Within 300 meters. Okay, interrogation complete. Sub-targets identified. What sub-targets? The power capacitors? Cargo bays? Fighter bays? What sub-targets are you talking about? Disable the megaship turrets. Is there some sort of turret controller? Because that would make sense. You scan the ship to identify the turrets. You scan the turrets to identify... There we go, sub-targets. Haha. Well, we're close enough. Now, yeah. Ooh, incoming missiles. Well, we did it. But we appear to have upset them. So, we're mass locked, of course, because this is a mega installation. So we need to get some distance. Let's go external camera, see if we can see the missiles closing in. Nope, can't see. Although it does kind of beg the question. I mean, because I was on the mission to disable the megaship's turrets, and I've just successfully completed that mission, so what's firing the missiles? I either completed the mission and knocked out the turrets, in which case nobody should be firing missiles at me because I've knocked out the turrets, or I didn't complete the mission because the turrets are firing missiles at me. Surely you can't have it both ways. And yet, mission complete. I ain't going to argue. Of course, I'm now in the shit in this system. So, that's fine. I don't plan on coming back here anyway. Right, let's go and hand this in and collect my 17 modular terminals. Right, remember Jingles. Modular terminals. Hey, there we go. Okay, 17 down, 8 to go. Let's check the mission board. Nothing yet. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Covert civil unrest combat operation. Modular terminals. Way more than I need. We need a skilled pilot with a strong stomach to perform some wet work. These actions are considered illegal in most systems. Although there shouldn't be any system security response. They're going to jam the links. Well, I'll take it. It's in the Mainani system. They actually kind of like me there. They're probably not going to like me much when I'm done with this.
Mission objective detected.
Cheers, Hall. Let's see what this is all about. Oh, I seem to have a new message. There it is. Commander Kessler, we have a target group that needs dealing with as part of the continuing civil unrest. Perform this deed for us, we'll pay you a commensurate fee. Target type, activists. What? I have to admit, at the time I accepted this mission, I really didn't think twice about it. But shortly after I completed this mission, well, unless you've been living under a rock for the last month, you can't possibly be unaware of certain events in the real world over the course of the last month. Now, I really don't like dragging current political events into the spotlight in gaming videos because I don't believe that they have any place in gaming videos. You watch gaming videos to try to escape from the shit world that we all live in. But if I don't address what you're about to see happen in this video, somebody else definitely will. Because believe it or not, this particular video sequence, this gameplay was recorded on the 25th of May 2020, the exact same day that George Floyd was killed in Minneapolis. And I really do hate to drag this up, but I'm sure you're aware that the killing of George Floyd has led to a lot of protests around the world, protests against police brutality. And in the ultimate stroke of irony, many of those protests have been met with extreme police brutality. And I do hate to bring all of this up in a gaming video, but there's absolutely going to be no way that I can dodge the issue, because, well, what this mission involves me doing is killing protesters. Peaceful protesters. And there they are. Those are my mission targets. Completely unarmed protesters in passenger liners, peacefully protesting, and I'm here to kill 5 of them. Well, I say 5 of them, hundreds of them, but 5 ships containing peaceful protesters. And I'm not thinking twice about it. I mean, they're not real people. I'm shooting pixels. And at the time, I was just after my mission reward. But viewed through the lens of what's been happening in the world over the course of the last month, I'm sitting here now recording this video and it is making me deeply uncomfortable. I mean, the game's not pulling any punches here. It's letting me know exactly what I'm doing. Bounty gained, murder of protest bus, but I'm positive that at the time they put these missions into the game, Frontier Developments had absolutely no idea what they were doing. And I just hope that there isn't any kind of political backlash against them because of it. I mean, I'm certainly not trying to say that Frontier Developments are actively and willingly promoting violence against peaceful protest by including these missions in the game. Although I am also equally positive that somebody somewhere is going to try to level that accusation. Don't be surprised if 4 days from now Frontier Developments have to issue an apology, remove these missions from the game, and then donate millions to some charity somewhere. I mean, don't get me wrong, at the time I was doing this, I was thinking to myself, this is a bit shit. I mean, I wasn't entirely comfortable with what I was doing, even before the world went crazy. But I needed those modular terminals. This does kind of raise all kinds of interesting questions, though, about how far people are prepared to go. I mean, even when it doesn't actually matter, when you're doing it in a game, when the only victims are pixels, how far are you prepared to go to get what you want out of a game? I mean, Elite gives me the choice. I don't have to take the mission on. When I realise what the mission priorities are, I don't have to complete the mission. I can abandon it. I might have to pay a fine. But I have the choice. I've played other games where you're just not given the choice. You have to do things that you're not comfortable with in order to progress. I remember in World of Warcraft's Wrath of the Lich King expansion. In the Berean Tundra Zone, there was a quest where you had to torture a prisoner in order to get information out of them. And it wasn't made clear that that's what you were going to be doing when you accepted the quest. And once you'd accepted the quest, the only way to complete it was to torture the prisoner. They got a bit of flack over that one, and rightfully so. But they kept putting that kind of quest into the game in later expansions. In the Warlords of Draenor expansion, there was another quest where you had to torture a prisoner in order to get information. But that prisoner was a demon, so it was okay. It wasn't a human, a person. In World of Warcraft, it's okay to torture demons because they deserve it. And yeah, I read very recently that Dungeons and Dragons is doing away with the whole idea of evil races. You know, dark elves, orcs. They're just people. They can be good or evil. Well, in fact, it's more accurate to say that the whole concept of good or evil races in Dungeons and Dragons is just going away. They're just races. And, you know, I can see that making sense, because it's not like... I mean, humans in Dungeons and Dragons are considered one of the good races. Elves are one of the good races. But that doesn't mean that you can't be a complete shit if you're a human or an elf, does it? So I can kind of see the sense behind it. And of course it's all been triggered by the killing of George Floyd in Minnesota. Now, whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing is entirely up to you, but it is a thing. And I'm very sorry for dragging politics and current events into an Elite Dangerous video, because I know you don't come to these videos to be reminded of what a shitty state the world's in, but, well, there was no real way I could avoid it. Well, there was. I could have just not shown you this section of the game. I could have just said, so then I got the rest of the modular terminals and went to hand them into Marco Quent. But I didn't. So if by the end of the week I'm being tried in the court of public opinion and crucified on Twitter for promoting violence against peaceful protesters, and Frontier Developments have been forced to issue a public condemnation and apology and have suspended my game account and have donated millions to Black Lives Matter, you know why. It was a nice YouTube career while it lasted. So long, and thanks for all the fish. Well, anyway, one way or another, I've got Marco's modular terminals. Slightly more than I need. But that's okay. I can sell off the surplus at any station, providing it's one that I haven't traded with before, because there's another engineer later on down the line who's going to require that I've traded in at least 50 separate markets. So I can trade the excess off, and that's all going to go towards unlocking that other engineer. But now I finally have a reason to go to the Sirius system, which I unlocked in the last episode by dumping 10,000 light years worth of astronavigational data at any station controlled by the Sirius Corporation. This raised my reputation with the Sirius Corporation to Allied, at which point they gave me the ticket that would allow me to come here. The Sirius system, at long last, also known as Alpha Canis Majoris, it's the brightest star in the night sky. It's a blue supergiant, and Marco Quent lives here. There it is. It's not the only star in the Sirius system, it's a binary system. Sirius B is a white dwarf, and as we all know, white dwarfs can just fuck off. The existence of Sirius B wasn't discovered, but was suggested by the German astronomer Friedrich Bessel as long ago as 1844. He deduced that there must be another star in the Sirius system because of changes that he'd observed in the motion of Sirius A, the blue supergiant. And this was confirmed by the American astronomer Alvin Clark, who was the first person to actually observe Sirius B in 1862. It's affectionately known as the pup. Get it? The dog star and the pup? Yeah? No? I'll get my coat. I still don't actually know exactly where Marco Quent is. I mean, it's fairly obvious. There's only one planet in this system that is capable of being landed on. But because I have not actually visited Sirius before, I first need to dock at a Sirius Corporation controlled station, like Patterson Enterprises here, in order to get the official invitation that will give me the location of his research base. And there it is. Engineer invitation contract. Also, I thought, because even after all of this, Marco still hasn't finished fucking with me. Seriously, I have to deliver data to Walt's base, which is a planetary outpost, so it's a pain in the arse to get to, in the Duamta system, which is nearly 9 light years away. Really? Yeah, really. So what was the point of this, other than making me fly all the way out here purely for Marco's own amusement? Let's have a look and find out. Just quickly refuel, check the mission board. There better have been a good reason for making me come all the way out here. And there's the contract, complete mission, and nothing. Oh, somebody will contact you. I hear a message. Let's go to the communications panel. And there it is, invitation from Marco Quent. Basically saying, ha ha, made you come all the way out here for nothing, sucks to be you. Come see me in Sirius. Fuck this guy. So, another pointless hyperspace jump later, we're back in the Sirius system and we're landing at Quent Research Base. And I do hope you remember to bring your 25 modular terminals with you, because if not... And the best part is, he's not even worth the trouble. Here's your 25 modular terminals, hope you choke on them, what can you do for me? And this is it. Grade 3, not even grade 4 or 5 access to power distributors and power plants. But you have to do it. Well, you don't have to. You have to do it if you want to be competitive, because without engineering, frankly, most ships suck. So we've gone through all of this, a 10,000 light year round trip, grinding out Allied reputation with the Sirius Corporation, sourcing 25 modular terminals, jumping through God knows how many hoops, and none of it because we actually want Marco Quent's surfaces, but he's just the stepping stone to bigger and better things. I don't want to say it's not worth it, because it is going to be worth it, but Marco Quent himself definitely isn't worth it. The only reason you're here, you hear that? Incoming message. Once you're roughly halfway between grade 3 and grade 4 access to Marco, you start getting messages from people who actually matter. And right there on our comms panel, there it is. Invitation from Chloe Sedacy. Information on Laurie Jameson. She does grade 5 sensors and surface scanners, although we're not too concerned about Laurie Jameson for quite some time yet. We also have an invitation from Professor Palin, and we're going to be doing him next. He gives us access to grade 5 thrusters, as does Chloe Sedacy here, also grade 5 thrusters. But Professor Palin is going to be our next stepping stone, not just because upgrading our thrusters is going to be good, but also because of the way that we did the Marco Quent grind. We've kind of mostly unlocked the requirements for Professor Palin anyway. But the reason why I'm not really interested in chasing up Laurie Jameson just yet, I mean, we've learned about it from Marco Gwent, but you also have to have a combat pilot rating of dangerous or better, and that's going to take some time. Plus, the things that she offers, sensors and detailed surface scanners, you can also get from Bill Turner, and other things as well. You get grade 5 plasma accelerators from him. So, not too concerned about Laurie Jameson. Chloe Sedacy, not too concerned about her either. We're going to get everything that she offers from this guy, Professor Palin. Engines and thrusters and frameshift drives. And we've already completed almost all of the requirements. Travel more than 5,000 light years from your start point. We did that when we were unlocking Marco Quent. The only other thing we have to do is provide him 25 units of sensor fragments. Now, I don't know what sensor fragments are yet, but I know that not only Professor Palin, also Chloe Sedacy needs 25 of them as well. So if I can find a source of these, I can kill two birds with one stone. So I've done everything I need for these two engineers, I just need to provide them both with 25 sensor fragments. So what's a sensor fragment? Well, it turns out that their full name is Thargoid sensor fragments, as in the fragments of sensors from the wreckage of Thargoid ships. The wreckage of Thargoid ships? Thargoids? What, you mean these guys? Oh, this is never going to end well.